Today, President Donald Trump's administration implemented significant changes within the Department of Justice, DOJ. 1. Freeze on civil rights litigation. The new DOJ leadership has ordered a temporary halt on civil rights cases, including police reform agreements established under the previous administration. Attorneys in the Civil Rights Division are currently barred from filing new court documents and must report recent settlements or consent decrees for potential reassessment. This move affects agreements in cities like Louisville, Kentucky, and Minneapolis, Minnesota, which were formulated after investigations into police-related civil rights violations. The duration of this freeze remains uncertain. Reassignment of senior DOJ officials. Approximately 20 senior career attorneys have been reassigned within the DOJ. Notably, George Toscas, a senior official in the National Security Division who oversaw counterintelligence investigations, has been transferred to a newly created Sanctuary Cities Enforcement Working Group. This group is tasked with challenging local and state laws that conflict with the administration's immigration policies. The reassignments are viewed as an effort to reorganize a sector of the government that has previously drawn the president's ire. These actions reflect a broader shift in the DOJ's priorities under the current administration, focusing on immigration enforcement and reevaluating civil rights initiatives.
The recent freeze on civil rights cases by the new leadership of the Justice Department under President Trump is a troubling development that signals a potential retreat from the protections and progress made in recent years.
The human rights of all of our citizens were protected by this division, the Civil Rights Division. With all of that removed, Trump is now trying to have a society where there would be no redress for the George Floyds, no redress for the Minneapolis Police Department, as well as the departments that they put under decree under the Biden administration. So it is to really undo. He's already tried to undo with dealing with the question of suspending DEI. Now we're dealing with him disarming us from even having the law properly investigate civil rights crimes. So he has sent a signal in 3 days, that I'm suspending DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I'm going to shut down the Civil Rights Division. He hasn't even been the president a week and has declared war on
The Civil Rights Division has played a crucial role in addressing systemic injustices and holding law enforcement accountable for civil rights violations. This freeze not only threatens those efforts, but sends a disheartening message to marginalized communities, particularly Afro-descendants, who have long fought for equality and justice.
One of the things the United States Department of Justice is allowed to do is to conduct investigations into police departments and police behavior to figure out whether civil rights are being violated. That is, whether the police, who have a lot of power and a lot of discretion over our day-to-day lives, whether the police are behaving in a constitutional manner, including not engaging in racial discrimination. Under the Biden administration and other sort of even Republican administrations, the DOJ has opened a number of investigations around the country and found that police in, for example, Phoenix and Cleveland and Minneapolis and New Orleans engage in excessive uses of force, engage in racial profiling, and basically are violating the Constitution. The Trump administration, I believe it was yesterday, could have been the day before, announced that all those investigations are now stopping. So now there is no oversight, except for you and me, I guess, to determine if police are obeying the law. We give them so much discretion, so much authority, and it's critical that our elected officials, even if we have to do it at the state level, because the US DOJ is not going to do it, elected officials and citizens need to stand together and hold police and police departments accountable. because the feds aren't going to do it anymore.
As we witness this shift, it becomes imperative for us to frame our struggle not just as a fight for civil rights, but as a broader human rights issue. The oppression and discrimination that we face are part of a larger narrative of inequality affecting Afro descendants worldwide.
This erase what our ancestors fought so hard for us to have. Erase all of the progress that we have made over the last 60 years with the swipe of a pen. If only we had some type of warning that this would happen. Oh yeah, we did. It was written right in Project 2025. You know that thing that y'all said he wasn't a part of? That thing y'all said we was using to fearmonger people with? It was written right in Project 2025. He basically said, it's okay to discriminate. It's perfectly legal. Discriminate away. But see, here's the thing with that discrimination shit. It works both ways. If you are a minority-owned business, I suggest you think very carefully about who you serve and who you hire. And while I am devastated, I know that the pride comes before the fall. But unfortunately, a lot of damage will be done before that happens. So this is the time that we need to find our people. We need to be preparing for what's to come.
By aligning our struggles with the universal principles of human rights, we can amplify our voices and seek solidarity from international forums. This approach underscores that the fight for equality transcends borders and is a shared human endeavor. It invites global awareness and support, empowering us to elevate our plight on the international stage. We must advocate for our rights as fundamental human rights, demanding justice, equality, and dignity for all. This reframing can help galvanize broader support and inspire movements across the globe that challenge systemic racism and promote equity. The time has come to unite our voices and remind the world that our demands for justice are not merely local concerns, but integral to the global fight for human rights.